Biomed, Nexus Daily Updates, your essential biotech, medtech, and pharma recap. No noise, just what matters. Executive takeaway a structural regime change at the FDA has codified one pivotal trial as the new approval default, signaling a massive deregulation for chronic disease drugs. Meanwhile, Insmed's 1B revenue guide for Brinsupri marks the first blockbuster-scale breakout of the 2026 respiratory cycle, and Madrigal nears the 1B mark in its first full year of MASH commercialization. Read full analysis, what to watch, one trial arbitrage. The FDA's ending the two-trial dogma policy, published in NEJM yesterday, will likely trigger a rush of Phase 2 programs pivoting directly to filing in 2H 2026. Watch for small caps in cardiology and immunology to capture the highest valuation premiums as capital expenditures for Phase 3 drop. MASH market shakeup. Madrigal reported nearly $1 billion in Rezdiffra sales for 2025, welcoming Novo Nordisk's recent Wegovy entry into the MASH space. Management signaled that high-potency combination therapy, Rezdiffra plus GLP-1, will become the commercial baseline for liver disease by 2027, the one-year diabetes shift. With the US launch of the twiist Eversense 365 combo yesterday, the market will test patient appetite for invasive 365-day continuous glucose monitoring over standard 14-day wear-and-throw sensors. Today's top story: FDA formally adopts one pivotal trial as default approval standard. What happened? In a landmark New England Journal of Medicine perspective published yesterday, Commissioner Martin Makary and Deputy Vinay Prasad announced the FDA will now default to requiring only one well-controlled clinical trial for drug approvals, replacing the decades-old two-trial standard. Why it matters. This is the most significant regulatory loosening in 40 years. The policy specifically targets drugs for common diseases, cardiology, psychiatry, immunology, that were previously excluded from the single-trial rare disease exemptions. Executive impact: sponsors must now provide confirmatory evidence, mechanistic data, animal models, or real-world evidence to support their single pivotal study. This lowers Phase 3 capital expenditure by 40%, but increases the risk of post-market withdrawal if real-world safety signals emerge. Oncology and rare disease. Denali Therapeutics. Rare data. Data presented at the 2026 World Symposium showing its enzyme transport vehicle, ETV, successfully crosses the blood-brain barrier in Hunter syndrome and Pompe disease. Catalyst, FDA priority review, decision for Tividine Ofiesp alpha, expected April 5, 2026. Actis Oncology, Radiopharma. Market signal, post-IPO analysis confirms Actis's 3/18 mid-January debut as the largest biotech public offering in 2 years, cementing radiopharmaceuticals as the most durable M&A subsector in oncology. Clinical and research updates: bio versus tuberculosis. Data, published Phase 2A, results in NEJM for Alpibacter, ALPE. The small molecule boosts the potency of the existing antibiotic ethionamide, providing the first clinical proof of concept for overcoming multi-drug resistance in TB. Co-Crystal Pharma, norovirus. Progress. Announced Phase 1 data and updates for CDI-988, the first oral antiviral candidate for norovirus, will be presented at ICAR 2026, late April. Insight. As a pan-viral protease inhibitor, CDI-988 is being positioned for both acute gastroenteritis and chronic infections in immunocompromised patients. Insmed, Brinsupri guidance, forecasted that sales of its newly approved bronchiectasis drug will hit at least $1 billion in 2026, signaling faster than expected commercial uptake. Q4 2025 Brinsupri revenue reached 144.6 meters in its first full quarter. Corporate development sequel MedTech and Sensionics. Launch announced full US availability of the twiist aid system integrated with the Eversense 365, the first and only one-year implantable CGM combined with automated insulin delivery. Madrigal Pharmaceuticals earnings, financials, reported full-year 2025 Resdifra net sales of $958.4 million, just shy of blockbuster status. Traction: more than 250 patients are now on therapy. Management expects robust 2026 growth despite Wegovy's entry into the MASH market. Reactor Healthcare board refresh. Leadership: appointed sector veteran Richard Nagel, formerly CEO of Revolo, as chair to lead its global expansion in food allergy diagnostics. Read: full analysis, policy and public health ACIP tumult, CDC, delay. The CDC's Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices, ACIP, confirmed it will not hold its Feb 25 to 27 meeting amid missed Federal Register deadlines and ongoing administrative shifts. Impact: this delays critical guidance on RSV and adult pneumococcal vaccines. Public Health Data Consortium. Partnership: ASTHO partnered with Health Verity to launch the first-of-its-kind public-private data pool, initially focusing on mortality data to provide real-time clinical truth for public health interventions. FDA Tremfya. Ad warning enforcement. The FDA issued an untitled letter to J&J for a Tremfya guselkumab TV ad deemed false or misleading regarding ulcerative colitis remission rates. Signal: even in a deregulatory era, fair balance in DTC advertising remains a strict enforcement priority. Biomed Nexus Pro Institutional Intelligence Brief-In. Today's Pro brief the single trial. Re-rating why Phase 2 cardiology and immunology assets are suddenly acquisition ready. Moderna's flu delay. Risk: how the ACIP administrative tumult threatens mRNA's primary 2026 flu season. Diabetes continuity trade, the institutional threshold for a rotation into Senseonics longwear medtech. Upgrade to Pro today. Read full article. Selective 2026 sponsorship placements are available. Reply directly to discuss a partnership or submit an inquiry. Here, https://biomednexus.com. Advertise